Hello, everybody. Hope you're all having a super magical day. Welcome back. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today is time for chapter 2 of Galactic Gossip. I'm so excited. Today we will be discussing this week's episode of The Mandalorian. So that is chapter 13, titled The Jedi. If you have not yet seen that episode, I do recommend that you switch off now because we will be doing spoilers. Or if you haven't seen it and you don't mind having spoilers, definitely stay tuned. So as you can see, I'm not here alone. I am in fact with Tori. Tori, you want to introduce yourself?
Hello there, I'm Tori from Tori in Wonderland. Yeah, that's all I can say this week.
Awesome.
That's it.
On Instagram over on our Galactic Gossip page, but also on Mouseketeer, we got you guys to send in some questions, like thoughts and feelings with regards to just the show this week and what went on. So I thought what we could do is we could make our way through the comments, questions that we've got, and then if anybody at home who's watching live has any additional ones, we can definitely go over those as well. So our first question is from Lily, and it's quite a good question to start on. It says, what are your thoughts about Ashley Eckstein not playing Ahsoka? Do you want to go first, or do you want me?
You go first, because I've got a few mixed feelings about it.
I understand why she didn't. I simply think possibly they needed a character who was trained in doing like backflippy kind of stuff. So possibly that's why they went for Rosario Dawson. Also, possibly they might have wanted a woman of color to have played Ahsoka Tano. I personally believe it just felt right to me. I don't know why. Obviously, she is orange, but it just felt right to me. It just sat right with me. I also feel like I trust in Dave Filoni. Like in Dave Filoni, we trust. So if that's what Dave thinks, that's what he thinks. I saw quite a few articles before this season when Ahsoka started being rumored. People were very like, they like asked Ashley, they're like, do you know anything about this? She's like, I have no idea at all. And a piece of me is like, did she genuinely not know that they have bringing Ahsoka to the Mandalorian, or like, did she know and not say anything? Because I think like Ahsoka's almost like a child in a way, and I think if they just brought her into the show without speaking to her, I think that is awful. But I don't think Dave Filoni would do that. So I think maybe she did know. I can imagine she was probably disappointed. I don't know if you guys, like, I follow her on social media. She didn't say anything for 24 hours, and then she put a post up basically welcoming Rosario to, like, the Tano family. Obviously, we have no idea if she meant that. She didn't mean it, but she seems like a lovely person. I'm sure she genuinely did mean it. I feel like it's hard. It's hard watching somebody play your character. But I have a feeling she probably knew all along, and hopefully she's happy with it. So my personal feelings are Rosario absolutely smashed it. The mannerisms are there. She did an amazing job of getting a cartoon character into a real life form, and I'm excited to see what else she does with it.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, because like you don't know like what kind of actor Ashley is. Like, has she done any like actual like live stream things? Or is she like just like a voice actor? So obviously, like if she is just a voice actor, she's not gonna know like how to bring her character to life in the way that she's already used to.
Yeah.
I definitely think she did know about it, but maybe not to the full extent. She might have just been told, "Hey, we're bringing your character back into live action." As for her statements, I feel like that was just kind of like I need to say something on the internet to clear it all up.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like a false statement. I don't think it was anything fake. I just feel like it was something she was like, okay, I need to like calm this party down.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. The next question was another very good question from Lily. What are your thoughts about the length of Ahsoka's, I don't know how to pronounce this, Laku?
Don't ask me on that one.
Okay.
I just always refer to it as headpiece, so I don't get it wrong.
We've just discussed this before, actually. I will say as well, because obviously you spoke to me about this last week. So when I watched it, I was like, oh, they're really short. But if you hadn't spoken to me, I probably wouldn't have like clocked on. However, it was noticeable, but hearing the reasons why they did that with regards to that they wanted her to be able to do like all of these like live action elements, and they said it would have been too difficult if she had a larger headpiece. I understand. Obviously, that makes it in a way not canon because your headpiece does not shrink; it is part of your body. It's not like a designer thing. So like I understand. I think fans are disappointed, but I think if that's the only negative you can take away from a cartoon character going into a live action form, I think you're doing really, really, really well.
Yeah, I kind of understand that in order, like, for like obviously the actress wouldn't be able to function as well if she had this massive thing on her head. But I feel like as Ahsoka as herself, she's been doing these backflips and stuff her entire life, so she would have just got used to it. But I understand that's unrealistic for an actress to be able to do that. But yeah, I did mention it last week that was one of the factors I was going to be paying instantly attention to.
Yeah.
And they're literally the same size as when she was 16, and she's now in her late 30s, early 40s. So yeah, but that's something I can't help. It was still she was still amazingly brought to life. That's the only detail I didn't.
Awesome. Lily has another question. It says, "What would you have done differently in the episode?" I think the only thing I would have done differently is I would have had Ahsoka get on the ship with Mando. She doesn't have to train. I'm doing it. Grogu. However, the name has been dropped. However, I do think it would have been cool to have seen her gone with them. I want to see more of her. Please do not be her like a one and done. I feel like this season has introduced so many amazing people and they've kind of gone bye. And it's like we want more. Like continue on. So that would have been my only thing.
Yeah, because that's been a big talking factor. Everyone's like, well, is that it? Is that the end of her? Is that all we're getting? But as we there is quite a few name drops for everyone in the episode that kind of does hint that she will be back, and she kind of does need to be back.
Oh, that was the next question. Do you think we'll be seeing Ahsoka again? There we
go. Yeah, so continuing on with that. I don't reckon we might in the rest of season 2, but I reckon it's more going to be a season 3 thing. She'll be back.
I think season 1 was a case of get to know Mando. What is Mando about? What even is a Mandalorian? Give him buddies, like everyone needs buddies in a TV show. Season 2 has been about Mando discovering himself in the sense of what is being a Mandalorian, like what does being a Mandalorian mean to me? And I think the next season will be like kind of spacing out a bit. So we're going to obviously have possibly the likes of Thrawn. We've seen Boba Fett. We've seen Ahsoka Tano. Obviously, there's now mentions of this Jedi who's going to come when Grogu. I love it. When Grogu goes to the Jedi Temple, is that going to be Ezra? Is it going to be Luke? Is it going to be somebody else? Is it going to be a Sith Lord? So many questions. But I think they're setting up this season ready for the next one to be like pow pow pow. But like, so it's important to just see Boba Fett for a second and like Ahsoka for one episode. But I think there's more to do with those characters, but they need to get the basis storyline there. I like that they're not rushing it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Cool. Next one says, do you like that Grogu got a name and a backstory, or did you like the mystery?
I liked that he got a name and I loved his little backstory. I did pick up on some problems with his backstory though.
Okay.
So as we know it now, Grogu is 50 years old, isn't he?
He's old man.
And so at the end of the Clone Wars, he was 22. So when someone whisked him away into hiding, he was 22 years old. Master Yoda didn't begin his Jedi training until he reached full maturity when he was 100. Right. So Grogu is nowhere near full maturity. And when he was at the Jedi Temple, he was like even more a baby. So when she said many masters trained him, I was thinking, well, what were they training him? That's the equivalent of trying to like teach a newborn baby how to do the Olympics.
But are they possibly, when she said training, does she maybe mean more like mothering? We don't know what that entails. Like it could have been basic things like, you know, like learning to walk and stuff. Like we don't know what that. I think they left it quite broad for that reason, that you're not like I don't think they would teach them how to do backflips with a laser sword. But I do think, yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think.
Which is another thing why I think why Anakin didn't kill him in Order 66, because he wouldn't have been in that younglings temple, because he wouldn't have been in their class, he wouldn't have been their age range. So that's why he survived that.
It was to me like you know, in Clone Wars they had like the little bit where they were making the clones. It's almost to me seems like possibly other areas of like other like young like Jedis. It's like obviously like the younglings and stuff. Like the group we saw, obviously. Oh, I just can't. What are we going to do? I don't think they got them all. And I like the way in Star Wars they make it very clear that they're always going, there's more Jedi out there, there's more Jedi out there, there's more Jedi out there. So I think this is their way of like slipping it in quite well, and I think that's why he is alive. Because like obviously the question somebody asked me this week was who saved Grogu, but maybe nobody did save Grogu. Maybe Grogu was just elsewhere. Like if you think Ahsoka came out alive, Maul came out alive. Like there's like, you know, there's just like there's so many like possibilities.
Yeah. On that point about Grogu and how he ended up on that other planet and how someone obviously took him away, because obviously he wouldn't have been able to get himself from the 2 planets. So upon research, I have 3 possible. Ooh. Well, the live stream I was listening to, they suggested 4, but I'm going with 3. Okay, so 1, it could have been Yaddle.
Okay.
Because in the game, The Jedi Fallen Order, there's a part of the game where they hint to the fact that Yaddle survived and is in hiding.
Okay.
So it could have been Yaddle come and saved, part of her own species.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other one is Obi-Wan. Huh?
Yaddle's a girl?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Oh my god, so it could be Yoda's love child.
The other one is Obi-Wan, because obviously after the attack at the temple, he does go to the temple to search around for any life forms. So he could have found Grogu.
We never know if he does or doesn't find anybody, so that makes sense.
So it could have been Obi-Wan. Or someone did suggest it could have been the Librarian, because she died shortly after.
I love her.
It could have been her. She could have found Grogu in the temple somewhere. And the other one,
random stranger.
The other one that people were mentioning was it could have been Mace Windu. It could have been, because there's no actual meaning that he died when Palpatine shot him out the window. There's there was never a body found. There's no actual things hinting towards the fact that he's dead. So it could have been him.
Sorry, he's my other favorite. So
people were also mentioning that he might come back at some point in The Mandalorian.
My dad actually said he thought this week's episode was going to be Ahsoka with Mace Windu, and I literally was like, no, I can't, that's too much, like, let's tone it down a notch.
And just while it just popped into my head, the title The Jedi, that has confused a lot of people, because obviously Ahsoka isn't actually a Jedi, really, is she? She left the Jedi Order before she finished her training. So is that hinting towards someone else during that episode? Or people saying, is that just a nod to the Jedi Order in general?
I think what is it? The Mandalorian are trying to make themselves like, I don't know the word, like accessible to all levels of Star Wars fans. So for example, I feel like they're telling the stories as if these characters are new when we know they are not new. Like you get to know Ahsoka in that episode. So I think when they put it with Jedi, it's more they're being like, this is a laser wielding sword badass. That is Ahsoka. She's like, get that in your head. I know obviously we know she's not. However, it also could have maybe been nods to Grogu himself. Like it could have been somebody else that we just didn't pick up on. Like there's so many different like things, but I do think it was them trying to make Ahsoka accessible to all. I think, but I don't know. I do not know. 2 questions about Grogu. So, do we think Grogu interacted with Yoda at some point, and do you think Grogu could be Yoda's child? Oh, I just said it. Okay. Yes. I think it's love child. Easy.
When Ahsoka mentions Yoda, Grogu reacts to it like he recognizes the name. So he definitely he remembers him in some way or another.
This is that.
Also something. You're not good enough on that. Something else during that scene when they're talking about like the Jedi and Yoda. I'm not sure if you picked up on it, but I didn't until I was doing research. The music, the background music they're playing, is the Yoda theme by John Williams.
Yeah.
That was just a little Easter egg I liked.
Yoda was going to like Force Ghost at some point, but I don't know. I just think there's more going on than we know, and I think Disney know. I think they know. I think there's just a lot we don't know. This has been very carefully.
Yeah, like last week I told you that Bob Iger knew the name of Baby Yoda, and he'd known it for a long time. So what else does he know that we don't know?
I know. I think a lot of The Mandalorian as well. Like I was talking to somebody about Marvel movies today. There's so many plot holes with films, not because movie directors are bad, because fans are unfortunately are obsessive and they pick up on every small thing.
Yeah.
I think The Mandalorian, they have got this. They've got this period of time that they can very easily. They've got Dave Filoni, who knows the Clone Wars in and out. They very carefully like pin this in. I do think it's very good. Someone said a Jedi and a Mandalorian together, they never see it coming. That is very true. However, we have seen it before.
Yeah, like they mentioned they're enemies, aren't they?
Yes. Which also another nod to Clone Wars. I don't know what my brain went there. Do you think Din will give Bo-Katan the Beskar spear to fight Gideon for the Darksaber? That is an excellent question. And I'm going to go with yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't prepared for that.
No, I wasn't prepared for that. That's very clever. Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. I think like the Darksaber, it needs to go back to like the rightful like ruler kind of thing. So I definitely think we'll definitely see Bo-Katan again. That's for sure. Yeah. I don't know if we'll see the other two, but we'll definitely see Bo-Katan. We've got quite a long question.
Definitely if we're getting like more Ezra stuff come in, she'll have to come back.
That was like literally when she went, "Where is Thrawn?" I was just like, no way, because I said to you last week he should have been the like the bad guy in the Rise of Skywalker, and I was just like, oh my god, like I was
just like one of those mic drop moments.
One wrote Yoda as a Force ghost. My son, he is got some action. I did. Rod. Wow, that is amazing. I'm gonna get like tattooed. Jesus. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is quite a long one. Okay. Oh, a bit of a cough. Where do you think the mention of Thrawn will lead? Timeline-wise, it's pretty close to when the epilogue of Rebels is, so it could be the perfect setup for the Rebels sequel with Ahsoka and Sabine searching for Ezra and Thrawn. But also, that means they've been searching for Ezra for a very, very, very long time. Ezra is not going to be a boy anymore. He's going to be a whole-ass man. Like, it's been 10 plus years. That's insane. That's like, why has she not found him yet? Well, obviously she hasn't found him because they haven't made a TV series to fill the void. But like, where has he been? What's he been doing? Is Ezra going to be alive? Is Thrawn going to be alive? What's the crack? Like, I just don't know.
The last time we saw Ezra, he was with Thrawn, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's when they got attacked by space hippos. Yeah.
So since we got a Thrawn name drop, it's just all pointing in the direction.
Yeah, because we were saying just before this, we think that Moff Gideon is the apprentice to Thrawn. Because the droids you meant, explain that because you like know all this stuff about the droids.
I just like droids. I had to research what they were.
Was it like the number or something? What was it like the type?
It's the HK-87s.
Which is like basically Thrawn's droids. So Thrawn is very much interlinked, which means Thrawn and Ezra have got out of the situation they're in. So where is Ezra? Because Thrawn is clearly doing something. Like, where is Ezra? So I personally don't think he's going to be alive. I do think he is going to be dead. I'm not going to lie. But I would like to see him alive. Oh, and on that question, which Jedi do you hope senses Grogu at the temple and comes looking for him? I don't think it's going to be a Jedi. I think it's going to be a Sith. Even though we have had lots of bad guys, I love calling them bad guys. Even though we've had lots of bad guys in this season, I just don't think they'd make it that easy. I think we mentioned this as well. Is the Mandalorian goes main storyline, side storyline, main storyline, side storyline. We've just had the main storyline. Obviously, Mando's next move is to go to the Jedi Temple, so there needs to be some form of side storyline. So possibly, maybe like Boba Fett can like sense something with like his gear that he has. Maybe Bo-Katan's going to come back. Maybe it's going to be Thrawn. Maybe it's going to be Moff Gideon. Because I feel like they have a bit. They've kind of gotten like Cara. What's his name? Grief, Cara, Grief, and Moff have basically just been like, ha, bye. Like they've literally just said like, see you later. Not complaining, but I feel like they've been them off a bit. So I feel like they're going to have to come back at some point, maybe with Moff Gideon. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. These questions, I'd like answer this question. The next one's relevant. Do you think Gideon will track Din and Grogu to the temple on Tython? Yes, 100%. I think he's either going to show up or he'll be aware of what's going on. Like one of my favorite things about Thrawn is that he always knew what was going on. He knew everybody's next moves. Yeah. Even though he didn't react, he was so observant. He's not going to let things like this just like get under his radar kind of thing. And I hope maybe Moff's learned that from him kind of thing. Did you like the fight between Ahsoka and the Magistrate?
That was a pretty cool fight.
Not very often you see two women fighting in Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I was here for it. I loved it.
And the woman that played I forgot her name, that other lady. The cool pond lady I was referring to her as, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Her godfather is a famous karate guy whose name has slipped my mind.
Oh.
But it'll come to me in a minute.
Yeah.
But like she's literally born to play that.
Wow. And it's like the guy who kept coming out of the buildings during that scene, he's a Disney Imagineer.
Cool.
And he like apparently like last year at like D23 or something, he was like, yeah, I really want to be like in some form of like film. And they were like, okay, cool, you're the Mandalorian. Which I thought was really cool. We've got another long one. So this one's more of like a thought rather than a like question. So it says, it would have been so cool if when Ahsoka told Din the connection with Grogu, he had taken off his helmet. Really hope that happens at some point. It would be a good way for the season to culminate, because I feel like this season has a lot been about Din questioning his beliefs and what it is to be a Mandalorian. I thought he was going to take it off. I was really surprised when he didn't, actually, because how can they connect with the helmet on? I also
maybe it's because like Grogu hasn't seen him without it off.
Oh my god, yeah.
So like if Grogu was to see it, he's a completely different person.
But you're not my dad. But yeah, that
is a good point about him like questioning the whole point of being a Mandalorian. Like he's literally gone against everything they stand for so far.
He's re-envisioning being like a Mandalorian kind of thing. Is there anybody in mind that you want to pay live action Thrawn? I just want everybody that's not Benedict Cumberbatch. Nobody wants him. Don't make it a thing. Very
Why
much.
is that a thing people are talking about?
Oh, it's all that's been going around this weekend. Everyone's like, Benedict Cumberbatch.
I'm kind of glad I haven't seen that.
Yeah, no.
I'm kind of glad I haven't seen that then.
I think the guy who actually is his voice actor looks like him. So check him in. Don't make it any more confusing. But then obviously I know being a voice actor and being an actress are two very different things. So it is tricky. But there's not really anyone that comes to mind. I don't think we're going to get Thrawn this season. That'll be a next season thing.
No.
They've added in so many people. A bit of it's a bit overwhelming. Like, they literally just do a Boba Fett cameo in the first one. They say, like, chucking Bo-Katan, chucking Ahsoka, where's Thrawn? It's like, this poor guy, his whole mission has been dragged out for 8 whole episodes. And also, they said, like, oh, get the child back. Oh, sorry, get Grogu. I keep forgetting you can do that now. Get Grogu back to his own kind. Did they mean other Grogus, or did they mean other Jedis?
That's a good point.
Because I didn't think of that.
Because we don't know their home planet, so I think they must have meant Jedi.
I think they're going to go back to like Coruscant. So it's just a bit mad, really. Do you think Din will melt down the Beskar spear to make Grogu a little set of armor? I hope so. That would be so cute. like build a bear him. This one says, I full on teared up when Ahsoka was saying that she could see what fear and anger could do to the best trained Jedi, and she wouldn't lead Grogu down that path, because to me she was referring to Anakin. That was definitely an Anakin reference. It literally like tore me apart. It just
some people saying it was just a reference to the Jedi in general, because obviously Anakin isn't the first Jedi to go bad, but because it was her who said it, it was definitely a nod to Anakin.
It definitely was, and that literally I can't even explain to you. Watching that in Rebels literally tore me apart. I can't believe that he did that. I can't believe it. Like, what the frick? I was like, there's no way in hell. There's no way. And I'm still
because I saw a TikTok the other day of what Anakin at like the beginning of Clone Wars saying to Ahsoka, "I'll never let anyone hurt you, Ahsoka, I promise." And then it fast forwards to, when Darth Vader is going, "Well, I'll have to kill you." It's like,
you're not with me, you are against me. I've listened to this Star Wars study mix, and it just does their whole like Mustafar conversation in the song, and I'm literally there like trying to do my notes, and it's like, it's absolute. So I'm like, oh my god, do my work. Anyway, someone's response to the episode was and you know what's saying? I really do relate to that.
100%.
That was kind of the thought going through my head. I will admit, was not expecting her to come on as quick as she did. I literally screamed. I was just like,
I was expecting her to be like one of the things at the ending where she just like turns around, you know?
I thought it was going to be like a little, and it was like, no, boom, here you go. You wanted her? Here she is on. I can't explain to you. I only discovered Ahsoka Tano in April of this year. It's now November. I feel like I'm going to cry. I cannot explain to you how much, oh my God, I'm just going to cry. How much she means to me. Like seeing her like represented in a way that I like again connected with, it just meant so much, because I feel like one of my biggest things about being a teacher is that I just want to make a positive change for tomorrow, and I think she's a character that does that. It is not often you get to see women kick ass, and she not only does it, she does it so well, and she's just like, everyone goes, oh, I hated Ahsoka to begin with. I never had that. It was like, it's so sad, but like I see so much of myself in her. Like she just always is trying to do like the next right thing, like the best thing. And it just seeing her again on the screen and knowing that like I got to fall in love with her this April, and now like a whole other generation of people like going to get to do that. Like that just means so much. And I like, obviously I know like Ashley Eccleston is never going to watch this like show, but like if she did,
she's going to be on it. She's going to be on it.
I think I just like the first thing I'd ever say to her is like, I'm just so thankful to have a character like that represented for women, because it's not very often in Star Wars and Marvel's movies. Yes, you will get females, but never represented in this way. And I just think, I know I'm biased, I do think she is the best Star Wars character. She just brings it all together. She just connects it all for me. And I just getting to see her in live action, like nothing will ever, like the breath, like, and if she took my breath away, I was like, oh my God, like it's happening, like it's real. And it was just amazing. So bit of a like a little emotional moment there. More questions. Okay, I keep getting asked this. Do you think Cal Kestis might appear at some point? No. Leave him in the video game. Do not bring video game characters to DCVs. I don't want it. I don't know who he is.
That's the thing, like bringing cartoon characters into real life, bringing comic book characters into real life, they're two different things, but bringing video character games into live action, that's crossing a completely different borderline. Yeah. Like, the more characters you bring into life, you're crossing more lines, you're going to get more things wrong, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And I don't think we need anything, we do not need. I almost feel like when Grogu goes to the Jedi Temple with Din, I want it to be someone we already know. Like, I don't think I can take another new character. I just feel like I'm not complaining. Like, I love the show. Like, the show is like, I'm going to get so much stick for this. It's like prequels with like Clone Wars and like Rebels like tied together. Then for me, it's Mandalorian, then like original trilogy, and then like sequel trilogy, and then Resistance to the Bomb, because Resistance is crap. Please do not watch it. And it's just like, I don't know if I can take any more. Like, this is a lot. My brain's like, and I'm always thinking, like, my best friend watches the show, and she has no idea what's going on, but she's like, Grogu, and I'm like, awesome. And it's like, I feel like they're going to make it too confusing, but then also, is the show for them? Is the show for us? Where, like, you know what I mean? I just feel like there's been so many new things. Like, tell me why Boba Fett managed to get out of the bottomless pit when he's supposed to be dead, you know? Like, why did Bo-Katan just show up out of literally nowhere? How has Ahsoka just been magically found in this woods? Like, you know, like, I want more character development, less new characters.
Yeah.
That's quite a big little rant there. Emma said, hate Baby Yoda's name being Grogu. Love when Mando got him to use the Force for Ahsoka. I like the name. When he said it, I was a bit like, what? But then I was like, you know what? That is very Star Wars. I like that he has a name. And like, Baby Groot, Baby Grogu.
I don't think Mando's actually going to keep calling him that, though, because, like, he didn't, like, really... He's just going to go with Kid. And, like, Ahsoka saw that when Mando calls him Kid, Grogu does be like, oh, hello.
I just can't believe that someone said to me, they're like, do you think in the final scene of this series is just going to be him saying, like, Dad? And I was like, no, don't. If that was the case, I'd die. Like, I would die. That would be too much. I could not handle. But I was worried. So, like, I'll come back to that. So, obviously, I'll tell you why I was worried first. So I was worried because I was like, oh my God, he's going to leave him there. And I always go to people, I watch it for the storyline. I do not watch for Baby Yoda. And then I was like, oh my God, like, put him back in the ship. What are you doing? I need this. So I was really glad that he didn't. I was a bit worried, but also oh god, what was I gonna say? People can stop calling it Baby Yoda now because so many people were so confused. I don't know if you saw, like, on Galactic Gossip, we left a comment saying, wait, it's not Baby Yoda? People genuinely did not know. Like, people are so confused. They're like, it doesn't make any sense. I'm like, this is, I'm gonna blame it on Disney. They should have named him in the first one because so many people were like, what? Like, I literally had somebody go to me, no, this happens before the prequels. I was like, no, it doesn't. And they're like, no, it does. This is Baby Yoda himself. And I was like, I understand that makes literally zero sense. I was like, how can they, like, be calling for Ahsoka? And they're like, who's Ahsoka? And I was like, so I just feel like they should have named Grogu in episode 1. I get why they did it because they were ever to be like, oh, what's his name? Who is he? Like, needed someone with the Force, but they've just confused people.
It's like the same with Mando himself. They didn't give his name reveal until the last episode of the last season.
I get why they've done it, but I think making Grogu look like Yoda has just really confused some people, and it's quite stressful trying to watch the show. My friend's like, "Well, that is Yoda as a child." I'm like, "No, it's not. It's really not."
I think as he grows up and we see him get bigger, he'll develop his own like characteristics. Because obviously, like Yaddle looks nothing like Yoda. She's got like a hairpiece.
I can't believe that was a girl. I really thought Yaddle was a boy. Well, oh, also, Callie, we haven't mentioned this yet. Morai, did you spot that?
Yes, I had that as a note down.
Screaming!
Yes, that was so cool.
What does it mean? What does it mean?
What, Morai?
Yeah, like her being in this now. What does it mean?
I think it was just a nod to Wilgett. He was now going to see Ahsoka.
Because they also
Mora's always around when Ahsoka's around.
And they had a loaf cat, which also screams Ezra.
Yes, that's my note underneath that. They literally got those two notes side by side.
Boom. Great minds think alike. Oh, another one. I'll tell you what, Gabs the nerd, she popped off, and I appreciate her so much. Do you like that the Mandalorian is beginning to context to a larger galaxy-wide plot and filling in gaps from other stories, or did you like it when it was more small scale? I like that it's. This is why I love Clone Wars, why I love Rebels, why I kind of like Resistance, because it fills in those gaps. Like you have like a hole, and you're just digging it in, and I think like everyone is going, oh, the prequels are so bad. And I'm like, excuse me, character development. There is so much, like, when you watch Obi-Wan and Anakin's connection, Obi-Wan, Anakin, Ahsoka, like, you see them together, you see that bond, you got, like, Rex. There's so much going on in that part of Star Wars. I'm like, how is this not your favorite? Like, and watching, there is nothing, I hate to say it, I know people love the original trilogy. Nothing will ever beat watching Anakin go from Anakin to Darth Vader. That, to me, is, like...
Yeah. That's the biggest character development of any franchise. Watching him go through that small guy, from that small little boy on Tatooine, to being the most feared guy in the galaxy.
And I also would like to point out on the topic of this, I do not fancy a mass murderer. I fancy Anakin, not Darth Vader. Two very different things. That is not my type. Just want to make that very clear. I've been asked several times. But I just love it. Another one we've got. Another thought, it doesn't seem like Ahsoka's been on Corvus for that long, so she must have been in recent contact with Bo-Katan, and I love the idea that they stayed in contact post the Clone Wars. This is another thing. What have these people been doing for like 30 years? Having a nap? Sunbathing? Like,
yeah, I definitely agree with the point that she hasn't been on that planet for long. She's just got there.
I was going to say, otherwise she would have very easily kicked ass with the pondfish lady.
Yeah,
great.
That's her official name now. Pondfish lady.
We love to see it. Oh, we've already mentioned this, but how do you feel about the episode being called The Jedi and Ahsoka referring to herself as a Jedi after the I am no Jedi line? To me, that feels like an integral part of her character. Yeah, that did bother me because she literally does go, I am no Jedi, and goes, pew, pew. And I love that as well because she doesn't feel the need to like label herself. She just wants to be Ahsoka. She wants to do good and be Ahsoka. She doesn't want to be Ahsoka the Jedi. Again, I don't know why they did that. Again, I trust in Dave Filoni. Like, we love him. He is our savior. You saw the meme I posted. I love how that was my post of the week, by the way. I was like, this is what we're going with. I don't know. but Dave Filoni knows, so I'm just gonna zip it and let him do his thing, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We've got 4 more to go. So, Grogu's reaction to being called Grogu by Din is the most adorable thing ever. I do agree. Baby Yoda's name sounds like a Pokemon. Agree. Rod said, best episode so far. I hope they bring in Thorne and Ezra. And I feel like it teased that Grogu won't be part of the show much longer. I think that is false. Grogu is making Disney so much money right now. He's probably exhausted with having to carry the whole entirety of Disney Plus on his back. They are not going to kill off Grogu. They are not going to get rid of Grogu. Grogu is going to be in every single season of the rest of the show. He is a main character, and he's making them money. They're not going to get rid of him. There is no way. I think this season's going to end. They're going to find his people, so probably the Jedis, and then he's still going to go with him. Because he's paying the bills.
Yeah, because I feel like at this point, Mandalorian is literally just about their relationship.
Yeah, it's dad and son.
There's not one without the other.
Mm-hmm. And most of the parental relationships in Star Wars end in death. So if this one could not, that would be great. But yeah, right. I've just popped in the chat if anyone had any questions or comments from you watching live, and do you have any other notes on things I have not addressed? Bless you.
Thank you.
Have we covered everything on your sheet?
Let's just go down it. So the first thing I got was that we got the name reveal. Obviously, that's a big thing that we've already talked about.
Actually, in this episode, though, I did think it was going to be more of a season finale thing. And weird that it took the Force to find out, which also means he can speak.
Well, that's a point that I've got a few points down. He didn't actually speak to her. They didn't have a verbal conversation. Ahsoka literally uses the Force just to read his mind and to look through his memories and to see what he's thinking. So he doesn't actually contact her. They're kind of more communicating through the Force.
Yeah, but do you think Grogu knows that, you know how ducks, I think it's chickens, one of them, the first person they see is their mum? Do you think Grogu thinks that Mando is his dad? These are key questions here. I think he does. I think that's his dad.
Because he probably doesn't have many memories of the Jedi Order. Even though he reacted to Yoda, he probably doesn't remember him. Because so when he was in the Jedi Order, he was about 20. So put that into relation of when you were 2. You can't remember anything from when you were 2. You can remember people from your distant memories, but you can't actually remember things. So yeah.
Fair enough.
Continuing down the list, we've talked about how Yoda didn't begin his training till he was 100. So we've definitely got a longer path.
Was there a reason behind that? Why did he not?
That's when their species reaches full maturity. So for humans, it's 18 for us really when we're classed as an adult. Yeah. His species, it's 100. So he didn't start his training until he was full mature.
Maybe in the time period where we're in now, they were in desperate need of more Jedis, so they maybe got more younglings at an earlier age.
Yeah.
Just trying to make the storyline make sense.
That's something else I've just written down as a random little fact, that Grogu is 5 years older than Ahsoka.
Wow.
Because he's born during the same.
I love it. He did the Force. It was with the thing from the spaceship, from the Razor Crest. I thought that was amazing. I was like, yes! He just had some form of meaning behind it. So I was like, why did he pick that up? But I was like, no, that makes sense. The cloak Ahsoka was wearing during the episode is the same cloak she's wearing at the end of Clone Wars. Just kind of a little Easter egg. She doesn't change cloak. But what about Rebels?
Same cloak.
It is the same cloak, because I know obviously an outfit.
Yeah, same cloak all the way through.
A brand new outfit. This was which I'd expect. I wouldn't really expect somebody to wear the same clothes for 45 years. That would be a bit depressing. But yeah.
Something I found out a while ago. that's kind of interesting in Star Wars. In the Star Wars universe, they don't have underwear.
Do they not?
Like, not even bras.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder why not. That's quite random, actually.
It's just a random little fact I learned a while ago.
Did they wear socks?
Hmm?
Did they wear socks?
Maybe. But they definitely don't wear like pants and bras and stuff like that.
The more you know. I'll tell you what.
And that was when I learned that, it was on a YouTube video. They found a clip of a female character, and you could see she clearly hadn't got a bra on.
Oh. I'll tell you what.
The more you know.
I wish I lived in that universe. That'd be so much easier. Oh, we've had a question from Lady Tano herself.
Love that name.
So, what was your favourite Easter egg from this episode? I think mine actually was the loaf cat, because that to me cemented that Ezra's coming. And I thought that was a really good nod, because obviously only if you've seen Rebels you know what a loaf cat was. I also like how the spiders earlier on were like a nod to Rebels as well. Obviously they weren't the same, but they were like of a similar kind of species. So I feel like we've all overlooked Rebels a bit much, in the sense of no one was like, oh yeah, Rebels characters are going to come to Mando. Like that wasn't really a big thing. So I think for me, it's got to be the loaf cat. What about you?
I don't know if this counts as like an Easter egg or just like a little nod to something, but the planet they've chosen for this whole to be set on, it's actually a nod to what the Jedi Order is now. So, you know, like when we see Ahsoka, it's in like a forest, but it's completely like burnt down, lifeless forest. So it's kind of a hint towards what the Jedi Order is at now. It's non-existent. But then when he takes Grogu to that grassy area for training, it's all grass, it's all everything's life, like it's just not towards the Jedi Order.
I really think this stuff, I'll tell you what, I don't even like, how do you even write this story and come to this like level of detail? Like it's just insane. Like they just really hit the nail on the head every single time. That's amazing. I didn't even know that. This is one of my favorite parts about like talking about episodes and things like that, is there's so many things that everybody misses. Like you just don't clock on, and then when you get to like talk about it with everyone, you're like, oh my god, yeah. And it's like it's just so nice. It's like when like Disney fans look for the Pizza Planet truck. It's like that, but the Star Wars version. Really cool.
And at the beginning of the episode, when Ahsoka is talking to the guards and that pond lady, you know, the top of the wall thing.
Yes.
That's an Easter egg of a Monty Python episode.
Oh. I did not know that.
So it's not even a Star Wars thing, that it was just having a Easter egg to something else, which I thought was kind of cool.
That is amazing. How do you even think this stuff through? I will also say, I just knew Dave Filoni's episode was going to be the best one. I just knew it. That man has so much talent, wasted potential for sure. And I'm really glad he pulled through, because I was nervous. I was really nervous, and I hope he's happy. That everybody's like so happy and like positive about Ahsoka, because I can imagine he was probably pretty nervous, because it can't be fun bringing a cartoon character to live action form and hoping everybody like loves it as much as you do. But yeah, I thought it was very good, very very good. I'm trying to think what else we can discuss, because we've got some more time. I think so we're coming up to the final 3 episodes. Kind of crazy. What do you think's like gonna happen? Like any thoughts or anything?
I feel like Mando is gonna take Grogu to the Jedi temple that Ahsoka told him to.
Yeah.
But I don't think we'll find out which Jedi reaches out to him until next season.
Okay.
I feel like that's gonna be how it ends.
Okay. I think that would make sense, because obviously they said the whole point of the season was taking to his people. And I think that would be taking him to the temple would be the thing. I think the next episode is going to be like another side plot of helping somebody else go on their mission, and then I do think it'll be two like back-to-back episodes, almost like a part 1, part 2 kind of style of like getting to the temple. Because obviously you think like Ezra and Kanan had to spend so long trying to work out how to get into it and like do it together using the Force. So I definitely think they will run into somebody in the end. But like, there's been nothing from Grief. There's been nothing from Kara. Not really anything from Moff Gideon. Like, there hasn't really been too many, like, actual bad guys in this.
Yeah.
Like, it's just been meeting new friends. It's kind of been, like, on the whole, positive. You know what I mean? Like, there just hasn't really been much fighting. There's obviously been fighting, but not against, like, Moff,
Not
really.
the amount we're used to in Star Wars.
Yeah, so it's interesting to
Not the level we're used to.
I like it, but it's just different. It's unexpected. I'm going to really quickly Google who went home on Strictly. I'm not going to say it because I just want to know. Something that I discuss. I feel like people sent in such good questions that we almost like. It's like we just like covered it all, kind of thing. I don't know if anyone else has any questions or if you've got anything else that you can think of. Oh, T, that person went home. Oh, okay. Well,
I'm just having a look through my notes to see.
I'm just trying to think. Like, I didn't rewatch the episode because I'm not emotionally strong enough to rewatch it. Like, it really sent me through a whole wave. Like, on Friday, I literally did nothing else. I just sat and like watched the episode. And that's done for the day. I was like, I can't take any more. It was just a lot. It was a lot to process. There always is with Star Wars.
I think I won't rewatch it until I do the whole season in one go.
Yeah, I think I'm feeling the same way. Because like on the behind the scenes of The Mandalorian, everything's filmed on like this massive green screen thing. So I'm interested to see if this was also filmed on the green screen, or if this was filmed like in real life settings, because it looked really real life. But I don't. They produced it really quickly, because that's one thing I was worried about. I was worried about the turnaround time. I was like, you are getting the show out way too quick. But then they've done a very good job. So I guess it just shows like sometimes length of time is not equal good.
Like, I feel like with the Star Wars fans, they have to have a quick turnaround time for us, because otherwise we get impatient. Like, how impatient is the Star Wars fandom over the Kenobi series?
I know, but I'd rather wait. Please, like, wait. Do it good. Do it justice. Like, I'm okay. Like, I am in no rush. Is that going to be Ewan McGregor? Like, has that been confirmed?
Yeah, Ewan McGregor has talked about it on talk shows.
Yeah, boy. That's what I need to hear. Hayden Christian's in it.
That can be actually another episode that we discuss all upcoming Star Wars projects.
That's a good idea. I got
we've got the Bad Batch coming next year. We've got Lando coming, Kenobi coming. We've got season 3 of Mando coming.
Lando what?
Yeah, Lando series.
And Lando's and isn't there something about Rogue One series?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the guy from Rogue One. I forgot his name, but he's getting a series. Yeah. I
think they've now.
And there's the whole J.J. Abrams sequel trilogy, whatever he's planning. He's planning something. I don't really know.
See that.
I don't really pay attention to him.
Let us cool down. I do think, like, after unfortunately the lack of satisfaction fans got from the sequel trilogy, I do think they're stepping away from the movies, and I obviously are looking more at doing like the sequels. Have you watched the behind the scenes thing? They talk about how they make the episodes. I have. I've watched all of it. That's when my love of Dave Filoni actually began. I was like, wow, you are really on it, sir. I think it's really good. Like the guy like made like the Mando theme tune in his bathtub. Fun fact. Yeah, no joking, in his bathtub. And like, yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but it's this like giant green screen which covers the whole set, and then they just put props on it. But I don't know how much of it was filmed this season, because I think they said like 60% of it last season was filmed through this giant green screen set. Like none of it, like they don't rely on the weather, they don't rely on any of that, because they just do it inside this building. So I wonder from like an actor's perspective if that's been difficult. And also, how do they do the trial?
Are we going to like behind the scenes show for season 2, or is that like?
I'd assume so. Yes, I don't know, but I'm gonna go with yeah. I don't see why not, because obviously they did one for Frozen 2, they've done one for this. I wish they did it for every movie. I just love it. I think it's so interesting to see all the hard work and effort that goes into the creations of the things we see today. I can imagine the Mando.
I would like to see. Sorry, you continue. Oh, it was lagging. So. Something I would like to see after COVID, like COVID permitting, the first episode, like on release day of the episode, it to be shown in cinemas, so we can still have that cinema feel for Star Wars. Because there's nothing better than seeing something in the cinema for the first time in Star Wars. Because they were going to do it for season 1 of Mandalorian, but obviously for Mandalorian came out at the beginning of lockdown, and Cineworld were going to do it for episode 1, but then obviously COVID was like, nah, mate. So I feel like I really want them to do that for like more shows.
I say today, I really miss going to the cinema. I think like my last 2 cinema experiences was actually The Rise of Skywalker and Onward. Like it's been that long. Like the last one I went to cinema was February. It's November. We normally go to February. We normally go to cinema like every month. Like I miss having Tango Ice Blast really badly.
For the past 5 years, I've only gone to the cinema to see 1 or 2 non-Star Wars films.
That's crazy. Oh, Lady Tanu's come through.
I live this thing.
She said the first episode of The Gallery season 2 comes out on Christmas, so they are doing a behind the scenes for season 2 as well. I would love
on Christmas Day.
I think so. Have you seen the season 1 behind the scenes?
Ooh.
Oh, I think it can.
I haven't, not yet.
So basically, what they do is in a black room around a table, and then like they have all the directors together, and then they have like the sound people, and then like the stage people, and like all these different people. And it's not even like an interview. They're just like talking to each other, and it's like such a good vibe, such a good setup, and it's really, really good. So I'm glad they're doing a season 2 because I really enjoyed season 1. Because like you get to see like Bryce Dallas, like Dave Filoni, and like. Oh, that's another thing. Who do you think is going to direct the final episode of the season? If I read to you who we've had, let me get this up. Because Grief Karga directed one. I know his real name isn't Grief Karga, but you know what I mean. So like John Favreau did the first one, then we had Peyton Reed, then we had Bryce Howard, Dallas Howard, Carl Weathers did the chapter 12, 13 was Dave Filoni. So we've got 3 left. And we've not yet had Deborah Chow, we've not had Taika Waititi, I always say his name so well. And we've not had Rick Famuyiwa. I think Takia, I don't know how you pronounce his name, I'm so sorry. I think he's going to do the season finale. I think he's going to do the season finale again like he did last time. But I am sad we're only getting 8 episodes again. The people deserve more. I've spoken.
I was so shocked when watching season 1 that it was only 8 episodes. I was like, what is this about?
I know.
When they announced it, I was fully sat there a 20-episode series.
Yeah. I'm so glad that even though we got The Mandalorian late, I'm so glad that when they released it for us in March, it was 1 episode a week. I like that. Like, people are like, oh, release the whole thing at once. I like it. I like watching each one, reflecting on it, thinking about it, seeing what other like things I've missed, and then like doing the next one. Because I know some people wait to watch it all in one go. That would be too much for me, I think. There's like so many things going on. My brain would be like, because me and my dad, like over lockdown, we were doing like 8-hour days of watching the Clone Wars, and it was a lot. Would recommend. But I'm excited to see. So we got
That's something actually I'm happy about.
What? That it's once a week.
Also, the fact that we're releasing it the same time as America. Like all the release times worldwide is the exact same. Season 2, because obviously for season 1, America got it like a few months in advance, and so people in England were doing sneaky illegal things to watch it, and then we're spoiling it for people that were waiting to watch it the legal way. So I'm kind of happy about that they're doing it at the same time for everyone.
When they released it, me and my dad made the decision to wait. I didn't want it. Like my friend was like, "Here's the link if you want it," and I was like, "No, like I don't want it. Like I want to wait." Because I just feel like I just want to watch it the way Disney want me to watch it. You know, like there's a reason they've done this. Like I'm just gonna wait. Like no one wants to watch it on like crap quality when you can literally watch it in 4K as well. At home with surround sound, living the dream. Like I was like, I will just wait. But yeah, the final episode is on the 18th of December, so we've got 3 more to go. I'm excited because I'll get to watch these next 2 at home with my dad rather than watching on FaceTime. We'll get to like watch them in person, which will be super fun. Hopefully he doesn't have me screaming all the time because that happens a lot. Also, looking at it now, I think the reason that it was called the Jedi, I don't know if you've noticed this, but the names for all of them have just been describing what's going on. So we've got the Mandalorian, the Child, the Sin, Sanctuary, the Gunslinger, the Prisoner, the Reckoning, the Redemption, the Marshal, the Passenger. So obviously the Marshal was the Marshal, Passenger, Frog Lady, the Heiress, Bo-Katan, the Siege, Moff Gideon, the Jedi, Ahsoka. So I think that's why they've done it.
Yes, because when you were just saying that, because Jedi is the singular and plural word for it.
Yeah.
So by calling it the Jedi, they're not actually just saying Ahsoka is the Jedi. It could have been the Jedi's. Yeah. It's just a brief referral.
Could have been a nod to Ahsoka. Could have been a moth to Guga. What's his name? Guga. Yeah? Guga?
Grogu.
Grogu, that was it. So it could have been Ahsoka, it could have been Grogu. Could have been the mention of finding the other Jedis. Like, it could have been, like, so many different things. But I think that's why they named it that now, looking back, is they've just gone with one word which best describes the episode, which is very clever. Everything about this is just very clever. I'm just excited. I just want to see the end. Tell me what happens. I just need to know more. But on that note, have you got anything else to add, say? And also, what are we going to do next week? What is our topic? I don't think we've even discussed it.
Let's have a flick through the.
I don't think next week.
I did mention
revolutionary or anything, so I don't think we need to do another one of these. But definitely season finale weekend.
No,
we'll discuss.
Right, let me just write down two. Let me just write down 2 ideas on my idea page.
Awesome. Liking the hairband by the way, very pretty colour.
Thank you. This is the only I only have 2 Star Wars ears. I have my Chewbacca ones and my Beat ones. I'm getting the Yoda Disney Store headband for Christmas, so this is the only thing I could go with.
Oh, the Grogu one.
Yeah. Okay, so let's work down the list. Let me know if anything jumps out at you. Are you ready?
Anything out to me or anybody at home? If there's something you're yes, let's know. Let's go.
Okay, so fandom toxicity.
Nah, we'll skip that. We've been on
the next one is the whole baby. The next one is the whole Baby Yoda debate, but I'm crossing that out because that's an unnecessary topic now.
Yeah, Disney took that away from us.
That was going to be today's episode.
It was. And then they literally went...
everything you need to know before watching The Mandalorian. So in that we can discuss Clone Wars, Rebels.
I think that would be a good idea to do after the end of this season in preparation for the 3rd season. Because some people like to binge watch when things are all released.
Okay,
so I think that might be a good time to cover that one.
The next one is the Star Wars timeline explained. Because someone did message me during the week saying that they watched Clone Wars and they didn't realise the Clone Wars movie slots into a different place from the movie. And then obviously we can fit in where the Mandalorian fits in and where all the movies fit in. And explain how the years work, because obviously that's a whole different thing.
You know what? I think that actually sounds good for next week. I feel like I've had enough of explaining where the Mandalorian fits in, and I think there's so much more I need to learn. I could not for the life of me where Rogue One and where Solo slot in. So I think that would be really good, because I'm trying to watch them in release date order, but also make it make sense to myself in storyline order. So that would be really, really good.
If I sit down and have a binge, I only ever binge it in timeline order.
This is the time I'm doing it out. So I'm basically just need to stop watching episodes 1 through 3 because I watched them all the time. I was let's give the original trilogy some love. But it has been confusing.
What else have we got? We've got Lego Star Wars Holiday Special review, but we said we're going to do that when near Christmas.
Oh yeah, we were going. Oh, see, this is the only issue with the show ends on the 18th of December, so obviously then our live stream would be the 20th. That's the closest one to Christmas.
We'll have to do the Lego Star Wars one the Sunday after Christmas.
We've got 3, or we have to do it the week before. So So like we've got time for like 3 episodes before Christmas. So we've got like next week, then we could do Christmas special, then we could do discussing Mandalorian season 2. So we just need to come up with one for next week. We're sorted.
Okay, we've got the lightsabers for dummies idea, like discussing like the whole lightsabers, how they are, about the kyber crystals, about how they have to get them, all of that.
Yeah.
We've got what we think of the George Lucas sequel trilogy plot, because I sent you that on Messenger, didn't I?
Yes, you did. I have not watched it, but I will watch it.
We've got what if Padme didn't die. That was just kind of something I created on my own, something I think about a lot. So if she didn't die, but Anakin still becomes Darth Vader, what would happen?
She would die.
A quiz, a Star Wars quiz.
You know what? I think
being on the
maybe quiz, Christmas special, recap season 2, and then like lightsabers for dummies after Christmas. What do you think?
Wait, let me put these in
could be like our final one for the year. Ow.
Okay, so what are we doing next week? I'll number this out.
I think we should do
next week is episode 3. Star Wars quiz next week.
Yeah.
That's episode 3. And then we're doing
the review of the Christmas special.
Episode 4.
I get an excuse to watch it again. And then 5 can be like, recapping season 2 of The Mandalorian. So like I don't know, I don't really have time to sit and watch it all again, unfortunately. However, I could definitely be like, oh, I love that. Like I did like that kind of thing. Like,
just like a highlights reel.
Yeah, like a highlights reel. Exactly like that, yeah. I think that sounds good. That sounds good. Oh, Rod, have you seen what Rod said? We'll see Thrawn before the end of the season and maybe find something about Ezra. No, I don't think so.
Oh,
I don't think we're going to see Thrawn. It's soon. That would be tea. That would be
I think
a very big
season 3 kind of thing.
I think it's a season 3. I think that was our nod. I think Star Wars fans are going to absolutely run with it, but I don't know. I do not know. Have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see. Right. I'm getting tired because I get tired really easily. Do you have anything else to say, add, comment, discuss, screen?
I don't personally. I don't know if anyone watching has anything to add. Quickly get it in the comments before it's too late.
Yeah, I do think so. I think, like, quick recap on what we spoke about today. Ahsoka Tano was awesome. Rosario Dawson did an amazing job. We miss and respect and love Ashley Eckstein so much. A bit
She's still the queen of Ahsoka.
A bit annoyed about the whole headgear situation. However, we understand and respect the reasons behind it. And that's the only negative thing I could take away from the episode. So I'm taking that as an absolute plus. Would like to see more character development on the characters we've had, Bo-Katan, Ahsoka, Boba Fett. Make it make sense. Or, I don't know. That's just where I'm at. But it was amazing. Best episode of the season. Disney did not...
Out of 10, how are you ranking it?
10. Easy.
10 out of 10? Yeah,
10 out of 10.
I agree.
Like, there's just no... Like, this is Disney redeeming the fact that they ruined the sequel trilogy. That's just fact.
At least that's what I think. Most likely he'll come out in the next season. But I'm going with the optimistic approach.
Rod always goes with the optimistic approach. I'd like to think they'll do that, but I don't know
it's a good way to live by.
I think it's either going to be... The season's going to end with them at the Jedi Temple. It's either going to be option A, he calls out to Thrawn, or B, he calls out to Ezra. We're going to get one or the other. The two are no longer together. I know that for sure. I just know in my soul. One of the two of them is going to come, but I don't know which one. Or it's not going to be Luke. We know that. It's not going to be Luke. Because
Luke's not going to be at
you
all.
Can't do it. They're not going to have anyone other than Mark play Luke. So it does not make sense.
I mean, and I just think Luke in general can't fit into this plot line. Because, like,
he literally gave up on. Too busy giving up on Kylo Ren to be able to come in now. So, and that's the tea on that. But maybe it's going to be someone else. Maybe we're completely option C, very optimistic. Mace Windu. That's our Mace window. It's going to be Thrawn, Ezra, Mace Windu.
I did have a lot of people talking about that.
Yeah. I'd be happy with either, but the Mace Windu one is the one I'm really like rooting in the corner for.
Could it be whoever took him away from the temple?
Mace
Whoever
Windu,
rescued him.
Mace Windu. Or it's going to be like Yoda as some kind of like Force ghost, because obviously you can only see people that you saw in your lifetime. Grogu obviously saw Yoda. So there we go. But I do think it's going to be a bad guy. I don't think it's going to be Ezra. I think it's going to be...
Yeah, because the Mandalorian has just been a very dark story. It's not like some happy, glowy, colourful kids show. It has generally got a darker plot to it.
Yeah. So I don't think it's going to be like, oh my god, it's Ezra Bridger, woo! Like, it's not going to be that. I don't.
It's not going to be, oh my god, it's a good guy. Let's go skipping off into the sunset.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that easy.
No. But we will see. We could be wrong. You just don't know.
Could be completely wrong. They might not even go. Mando might decide not to even take him. We don't know.
They might just it off. They might just be like, nah. Maybe Frog Lady will go fine. Not for me. Not really my taste. I'm excited though. I'm excited to see Grogu use his special powers more. I also want to see Grogu with a laser sword. People get so upset when people call it laser sword. I love it. I think it's hilarious. But yeah, okay, cool. I think that is us done for today. I'm like exhausted. It's been a long weekend. So I just want to say a massive thank you to Tori for taking time out of a weekend to come and do this with me. And a massive thank you to all of you watching at home. We would not be able to do the show without you. If you're not already doing so, head on over to Instagram and follow us at Galactic Gossip. We've got like a little mini schedule. So we're going to post pictures on a Wednesday and a Friday. So Tori on a Wednesday, me on a Friday. All to do with Star Wars. Going to have reels, talking about the new episodes, our favourite things, all that jazz. And then obviously we will have our weekly talk show on Sunday, definitely until the end of 2020. And I'm more than sure this will continue into 2021. We'll just have to fit it around our schedules and all that jazz. So maybe you might see a time change one day, but definitely not anytime soon. So 7:30 p.m. UK time next Sunday. That is all from me. Anything to add?
No, that's all from me as well.
Awesome. Cool. Right. I hope you all have a super magical day. As always, I'll see you guys next time.